The dentist gave me a filling. That's not absolutely perfect. The youth, the boy, became a man. I knew life would never be the same again. My lower jaw sullied, my heavy metal upper lid reminded of my days in this life were limited.
You won't go to the dentist because you once had a filling?
Petrified of the place.
I could probably tell for you, Peter. I took one of my bad teeth out at Christmas.
My sister swears by gargling martini rosso with equal parts salt and soot.
Is this the sister in here?
I can't really answer that. It's meant to be anonymous. But yes, it's Margaret.
Right, Peter. It's time for you to go to the dentist.
Must I?
Yes. Get over your fear once and for all.
If you insist. I suppose it was all a very long time ago. You can be very persuasive, Tom. You're one of those chaps who talk a man into doing anything.
Emma, please could you go and ring the dentist? We need an emergency appointment. ASAP.
Righto.
Who's going to take Peter? Isn't that Peter's car on the drive, the old Morris Minor?
Knight Rider, the Petermobile, the old dreadnought herself. Yes, that's my jalopy.
He doesn't drive it though. Never learned, did you, Peter?
You know, I could never see the practical use.
Why do you have a car if you can't drive?
Does the captain always steer the ship, Tom?
What always know?
Does the pilot always fly the plane?
Pretty sure they do, actually. One of us normally drives Peter if he needs to get anywhere. Right, well, Maureen, can you drive Peter to the dentist, please?
And I'll run my gift shop.
You're assuming you're going to have some customers.
Yeah, I don't mind. I've only been to town once. I wasn't much taken with it, but I'll give it a second chance.
I think it might need to be a well-seen person. It's not your scene, is it? Holding hands and mopping fevered brows.
Fine, then that leaves Julie. Out of the question. It's Peter's first ever secretary. I'm deputy curator. I'll have to oversee the running of the museum in his absence. Are you sure you don't want me to look after things while you take Peter to town?
Positive. I've been preparing for a sad day like this for many years. Might you be good to take the reins for me? I propose, and as you know, I've left Peter. But that's very I can get it. I guess I will, Peter. But I've never driven in. First thing, don't you worry about the damn hand. We're measuring now. Measuring. Maybe I should do the gears, Peter. It's really not as easy as I'm making it look.
Are you feeling any better?
Wiping my feet at death's door, Tom. Of course, when Pudding was suffering from any malady, he would take opium macerated with vinegar and blended with sugar and spices. A classic laudanum. Do you think the chemist in town might have some?
Maybe not the chemist.
I mean, obviously, I am crippled. Crippled with the pain, Tom, but I must say this is rather fun, chap. I feel like Bonnie and Clyde, crossing the state line, gripping our Tommy guns.
I think the pain might be driving you mad.
I'm excited, Tom. I haven't been to town for ages. Hey, once the dentist has eased my pain, maybe we could do a spot of shopping.
Well, let's see how we get on.
I could do with a new woolen jacket from C&A. Perhaps we could rent a video cassette from Blockbuster. Yes! Take me there! And I'll treat you to some pick and mix from Google's.
When did you last go to town, Peter?
This is what I mean, Tom. It's been ages.
Yeah, we'll have some bad news for you.
What do we do without all this?
No point.
Right, thank you all for coming.
What is this meeting in aid of, Julian?
Yes, I'm a bit busy for this, love. I've just had a delivery of I Love Pudding t-shirts, which need sorting. The larger sizes always sell out first. I never know where.
Quiet, please. I thought I'd better call this meeting just so we're all singing off the same hymn sheet. Obviously, after my recent promotion, I'll be looking at doing things a bit differently around here. Really stamp my name on the place.
Promotion?
Peter's only going to be gone for a few hours.
Look, you heard what Tom said. I'm in charge until his return.
Yes, but that doesn't mean you can
Please
start...
don't interrupt the new curator, Maureen.
Go on then, what are your big ideas?
Well, the first thing on the agenda is to re-implement Chez Julian.
You what? Not that stupid coffee shop of yours.
It was not a stupid coffee shop, Maureen. It was a high-end continental literary salon that happened to do great coffee, a sort of 9 to 5 Newsnight review, a hangout covering Jean-Paul Sartre's.
But even Peter didn't like it. He hated the jazz and the croissant crumbs. He made you put the chairs away.
I don't think he gave it the opportunity it deserved. Now, Alan, do you think you could install some mood lighting, get some atmosphere going?
Yes, Mr. Julian. Atmospheric mood lighting. I think there's a couple of bicycle lights in the shed.
Great! Let's get Chez Julian up and running again.
But Peter...
But Peter isn't here. I'm in charge now, so let's all pull together and do exactly what I say, I know you don't like change, Maureen, but think of this thing a bit like having a tooth out. It might hurt at first.
Leave this, Julian.
Look, in the words of Barack Obama, you just recur.
Wasn't it Bob the Builder that said that?
Well, I used to love that show. Anyway, is that it?
Oh, that is just the start. Item 2, I will be needing my own parking space. Item 3, free lunches for all curators and deputy curators. Really wish you'd got dressed, Peter. Staring. Dressing down in pink.
It's fuchsia, Tom. Fuchsia. When I meet death himself, I want to be gaily dressed.
You're not going to die, Peter.
Peter Knight, please. I say, yes. You're like a young Omar Shabby. You don't find my quite rich exotic.
Peter?
Wouldn't have been. Following stairs, please, chaps.
No.
And is this your son?
Cheeky. Tom's my companion today.
Colleagues work together. Take a seat, Mr. Knight. Just pop this on you. And we're just going to evaluate it.
I say, Tom shades a damn there with this dentist chair. You must kneel before the Mekong.
Now, what seems to be the problem?
Patron scene, boarding school, Griffin House, second year.
Yeah, Peter's got bad toothache and
Okay, very common, nothing to worry about.
Easy for you to say, chum.
Just relax and open your mouth, please.
Oh, the indignity. Here goes.
Textbooks at dental school. We really must introduce you to flossing.
Who is Frothy? A dog? A dog, is he?
I'm just going to give a couple of teeth a little tap, Peter. Let me know if it hurts, okay?
Do try to keep it with the young man. I'm not a tough guy.
Okay, does this hurt?
Yes.
Does this hurt?
Childbirth.
What about this one? I think we found our culprit.
That's it, Peter. You can squeeze my hand if you want to. No, my hand, Peter.
Yep, I think we're going to remove this too.
Oh, goodness, Tom, you should have just left me in my bed to die.
Don't worry, Mr. Knight, we can put you under an anaesthetic.
Sounds like
bloody
done music.
I want to feel like George Pudding after a night out with George.
George Pudding. Well, so I went to school.
Ah, did you think you were going to a career in Did you enjoy it? Yeah.
The man spoke for a little time. He was wearing a dressing gown. Yes, how is the old place going?
George Pudding was. As you recall, the story really begins with his great.
Better be looking out sooner rather than later.
Here you are, Peter. What's over your mouth?
Something to me, little great leader.
Please, come into our office. How is Alan getting on with Shay Julian?
Fine, yeah, he's putting some chairs out.
Oh, Emma, you won't be like this with Melvin Bragg and Matthew Harris hanging out here chilling with an espresso.
How long before Peter gets back?
Never mind about that. Now, I've been thinking about your position here at Plum House, Emma, and I feel like you deserve a promotion.
Really? Well, that's actually quite thoughtful, Julian.
How does deputy curator sound?
It sounds like your job.
I'll need somebody to fetch my lunch and my post, organise my meetings.
You want me to be your PA?
I thought you'd prefer the term deputy curator, but I'm happy with whatever you want to call it.
It's called a PA, and no thank you, Julian. I'd rather sit in your poxy coffee shop than take that job.
Well, at least you're coming around to the salon idea. Now, can you show me how I use this telephone? Do I have to press a number to dial out?
You've been here for 10 years. How do you not know how
Just
to...
show me.
You press 9 first.
Thank you. Excuse. Professor Tristan Gerrard, please. TG, how is Trinity? It's Julian Baxter. From University. Yeah, the same time as you. Listen, you know that I work at the George Pudding Museum? George
You're supposed to be a professor of English literature. No, I'm not really... Well, I just thought I'd let you know I'm curator now. Yeah. Doing great. No, Julian. From university?
Please do apologise again to them. I've enjoyed that before.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be alright. Sometimes you feel better after a good cry. I'm just surprised Peter can still notice any pain. I mean, I gave them enough anaesthetic to knock out half the Cumbria.
Who the hell is this chap? And why is
He's the dentist, Peter. He's wearing his pyjamas, isn't he? He's wearing his scrubs. You, on the other hand, are wearing a pink dress here.
looks more like fuchsia to me.
Actually, thinking about it, should we quickly get Peter registered while we're here for the future?
I'm afraid we're not actually taking on any new patients at the minute.
Oh, but the sign in the window.
Yes, that needs to come down.
Right, when's somebody going to take this tooth out?
He's taken the tooth out, Peter. Come on, let's get you back in the car.
Bye, chaps. And say.
Stupid. It's a stupid bloody bus.
Day off school. I know a shop that'll sell us some woodbine, a sherbet punch.
I'm afraid we're going to have to get you back to Plum House as soon as we can, Peter. Before you cause any more trouble.
Big swamp.
Right, Alan. You look Bobby Damblin in here.
You think so, Mummery?
You're the new Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen. Actually, I'm not sure anybody's ready for that.
Oh, there it
You're
is.
the new Handy Andy.
I bet you there's no
But you know what?
parking in
I think
here.
you could go even further than you have in here. Really freshen the place up.
Well, I've got some urinal cake.
No, I didn't mean like that. I mean, get even more creative.
Urinal.
We must have other stuff lying around the place you could put up on the walls. That's the fashion now with cafes. More is more.
Right, yes. Well, I guess I could put up a nice shelf somewhere.
I used to fancy a cafe when I was young, but a proper one. Maureen's Pantry, I'd call it. Cakes and cream teas, that sort of thing. Do you ever wonder what you'd have done if you hadn't started working at Plum House, Alan?
No.
And the balloon floats towards the moon. I've never understood that line of puddings until today.
Yes? Well, just tell me if we need to stop. They did give you some very strong drugs in there.
I had a dream while I was under the influence, Tom. Do you know what it was about?
No, I don't, surprisingly.
I was a fantastic fuchsia stallion, and I ran through vermilion fields as fast as my hooves could carry me. There were no fences or
People are aware that variation is the most important thing with food, and I think because I don't promote one specific way of eating, I don't demonize any type of food.
The other thing that worried me slightly is that you are incredibly beautiful, and that's a wonderful thing. You're very beautiful, and there's this long, loving shot of you that pans up your really thin legs. That made me feel a bit uneasy, because I felt the suggestion is that if I ate like you, I could look like you. I mean, I never would in a million years, but also that you were a bit underweight.
I'm not actually underweight, but I also have been someone who's struggled with IBS for a long time, and as part of that, there have been times where I can't hold on to it. So it's not really something that I feel it's not my fault. It's and also I have a fast metabolism as well. But
Okay, Sean Porter, if you want to be healthy, what should you eat? Well, the first thing you should do is enjoy your food. So it's, like I said, you should have a variety of foods. You should include all food groups unless there's a medical reason for excluding them. You need to have a diet it's an eating pattern you can stick to, and it works for you and your lifestyle. It's all about you. But you need to eat enough, don't you? You do absolutely need to eat enough calories. So the diet I think that recommends people is a Mediterranean style diet. So plenty of fruit and vegetables, particularly like your salad, eating variety. Some lean protein, including plant-based protein, things like nuts, seeds, beans and pulses. Some fish, particularly oily fish, things like sardines, trout, salmon, eggs. Moderate amounts of fat, and if you're talking about fat, things like olive oil. If you're having meat, make sure it's lean, keep the portion small, include things like yoghurt, some fermented foods, small amounts of cheese. Fit. personal independence payment is replacing the old disability living allowance. So far, more than 1 million people have applied for personal independence payment. Dr. Gaynor Thomas got in touch with us about it. She's a GP in Cardiff.
We have some patients who will have great difficulty initially with filling out the form to begin with. I work in a very deprived area, so my colleagues have actually fill in the patient's form for them. Then we'll see patients who are very concerned about the assessment process. And then we will see people who have been turned down for the benefit, and they come to us to ask for advice about what they do next. So we will then usually direct them to the Citizens Advice Bureau, but there's an increasing sort of waiting time for the Citizens Advice Bureau, so often that will add to the pressure on the patient, and they will come back and ask us then for a letter, a report for their appeal process.
Before we come on to what you have to contribute to the appeal process, are you saying that some people come to you with poor mental health because of the stress of going through the process itself, or because of knowing they have been turned down and perhaps fearing that they won't manage?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's probably the greatest increase in consultations that we have. Patients who develop anxiety or even depression, because these are patients who have got chronic conditions, so they're more at risk of depression than the general population, and the stress of the financial worries that they have as a result of these assessments just makes everything worse.
Give me an idea of the scale of it.
We see more of it than perhaps other areas, because the prevalence of chronic disease in our area is higher. But I would say in the last couple of years, we see a significant proportion of our patients who are asking for help with depression, the causes and stress of the whole assessment process.
You say significant proportion, what, 1 in 10?
Yes, it can be 1 in 10. If I think about the consultations that I have, then yeah, usually we can see 1 to 2 patients per surgery, and I can see about 18 patients per surgery.
What are you meant to contribute then, go as far as an appeal?
Contractually, nothing. I mean, we're not obliged to write a letter for appeal at all. And the difficulty that we have isn't financial, it's quite simply time. If we said to all our patients, we will definitely do you a letter on appeal, then we'd be absolutely inundated, and we just haven't got the capacity to write reports, because to write a fair report, we need to see the patient, assess them. We're advised by our local medical committee not to do it, but the reality is that when you know somebody well and they come to see you, then you do it, because you never say no to that.
Now, we have heard that GPs charge for these assessments. Are you charging?
Again, that is variable. I mean, our practice, any charge that we have to make directly to a patient, then we have a nominal fee of £25, but not every patient that we write a report on is charged. When they're in dire financial straits, then you absolutely can't charge them.
Because they just don't have it?
No, and it just is completely wrong to ask for that, I think.
Was it like this before with the old benefit, disability living allowance?
No, absolutely not, no. I think ever since all the benefit systems changed, we've seen a huge increase in patients coming to us confused, stressed, anxious, and then increasingly depressed, and it is completely unprecedented. I've never known it in my career.
Dr. Gaynor Thomas, who works in Cardiff. Well, the Doctors' Union, the British Medical Association, is also saying that GPs are being hard hit by continued welfare reform, and that deprived areas are affected the most. Dr. Richard Vaughtry is the Deputy Chairman of the BMA's GPs Committee. We've had doctors contact us saying they feel overwhelmed by additional requests for reports. What have you been hearing?
Doctors have been telling us that directly as well, and for a number of years now, and it does appear to be increasing, as you've heard in that clip. GPs want to do their best for their patients, but they are being overwhelmed by large numbers of requests for letters to support appeals, and often inappropriately. It really should be a situation sort of that is got right first time, sort of, rather than the stress and worry that many of our patients are put under through this requirement to go through an appeal process just to get the right decision.
Now, you're meant to produce medical evidence when you appear, for your first assessment. So is it that, as the government says, that people are not taking the right evidence sometimes when they go the first time, so then they're having to go back to the GP later and ask for it?
I think what our patients often tell us is that they feel that the initial process isn't fair, that their concerns are not listened to properly, that the right assessments are not made, and the evidence that is produced by patients is not listened to. And then they have to go through this appeal process and repeat it or go into more detail all over again.
Do you think inevitable, though, if you are going to reform the system, that people will need medical evidence to take into assessments and appeals?
Often the medical evidence that individual patients are asking for is not something that the GP can actually provide. They can provide factual evidence about individual conditions, but how those conditions or how their various illnesses together impact on their daily living is really difficult for an individual GP to actually provide in a factual sense. And so patients are often pushed and encouraged to get letters from their GP, but actually the letter that they then get may not actually be that helpful in terms of their appeal process. And I think what they do need is someone from Citizens Vice or others to be able to sit down with them for a long period of time, who understand what all of the various assessments and questions are that they're likely to face, and then provide a detailed response. But again, as you heard in the earlier clip, Citizen Advice are under huge pressure as well, and they're not able to provide the level of support that individual people would like.
For those who struggle to get an appointment with the GP when they want one, how far do you think the welfare reform contributes to that?
I think there is a very clear link between areas of deprivation and the pressure that individual practices are under. And so you end up with a double whammy. You end up with a situation where practices who are already struggling in terms of their workload pressures, they are not able to provide enough appointments to their local population, and yet it's those very populations who need the most help. And so it's really difficult for those individuals to get access to a GP, but also really difficult for the practice to provide the level of service that they would want to deliver.
Dr. Richard Votry from the British Medical Association. The Department for Work and Pensions told us the government worked with health professionals to try to make the personal independent payment application process as simple as possible. And they added information from GPs is important to make sure people get the support they need. GPs do get paid for every medical report they write when it is requested for an assessment. Bluewater, Westfield, Liverpool 1, Meadow Hall, the Metro Centre, we may never see their like again. A new report claims that millions of square feet of shopping centre space across the UK will never now be built. That's despite it having planning permission. The research is published today by the property consultancy Colliers International, and it looked at shopping malls scheduled for construction over the next 3 years. Mark Phillipson is from Colliers. Can you tell us where some of these big new shopping centres were planned?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to suggest that some of these new developments won't ever happen, but it is crucial to have the right economic climate to allow them to happen. So you have to remember that putting together and building a shopping centre is a colossally expensive business. So you need a strong retail environment. You need a broad catchment, some schemes, because of the last recession, were postponed. There's one in Chepstow, for example, but it's not all bad news, because now the economic conditions are a bit stronger. That scheme in Chepstow is being relaunched, and I very much hope it will happen in the Midlands as well.
The ones then that were scheduled for the next 3 years that your report says won't happen, where were they scheduled for?
Well, I wouldn't want to specifically name a scheme, because the whole process of building and launching shopping centres is very much a fluid process. I mean, if you can tell me what's going to happen in tomorrow's vote, for example, that can have a profound effect.
I wish I could have been off to William Hill.
Yeah. That what happens to the economy after tomorrow can have a very profound effect on all sorts of retail developments.
If the market is not right now, what would have to happen then to make it right for these new shopping malls to be viable again?
Well, it simply needs to be consistently strong. It needs to be buoyant. The whole retail environment is a continually moving feast. The growth of the growth of internet shopping, the way we shop, although using the internet represents about 20% of non-food retailing, but it's changing the way we shop. It's driving footfall in a different way, and click and collect is now more important, and that's why we've seen retail parks experience growth in footfall over the last 12 to 18 months. So it's very much governed by what shoppers want, and that's ever-changing process.
Mark Phillipson from Colliers International. Thank you. That's it for today. On the programme tomorrow, a minister tells us the government will make investigating fraud more of a priority, and how to run a music festival without losing money. And the former MasterChef finalist you can hire to cook in your home and even do the washing up. I'll be back tomorrow same time, 12:15. You and Yours was presented by Winifred Robinson. The producer was Lydia Thomas. We'll join Martha Carney for The World at One in just a couple of minutes. But first, let's get the lunchtime weather forecast. And joining us from the Weather Centre is Stav Danaos. Hello, Stav.
Hi there, Kathy. Thank you very much. Well, a much cloudier afternoon across the UK generally than we saw yesterday, with the best of any brightness across the northern half of the country. So for Scotland and Northern Ireland, there's variable cloud around, a scattering of showers, most of these across central and western Scotland, with a few heavy ones mixed in. It'll remain breezy too, especially for the Highlands and Islands. The best of the sunshine will be across Northern Ireland, southern and eastern Scotland, where we'll see the best of the temperatures around 20 Celsius, but cooler for western Scotland. For Wales, it's a cloudy afternoon for many, with the best of the sunshine across northern and western parts, particularly so for Anglesey. Central areas will see thicker cloud with patchy rain at times, and there is more rain to come, more organised rain later in the day across the south. Despite the cloud, I'm still feeling quite warm with highs around 19 or 20 Celsius. For England, it's generally cloudy with patchy rain, particularly around the Wash area and into the southwest of England. The best of any brightness will be across the north and the northeast, but thicker cloud further south with some low cloud, mist and sea fog affecting southern coastal areas. It'll be very humid. Sunny spells will develop in the south later on, and that'll push temperatures up with an increasing chance of showers and thunderstorms developing across the south, but in particular the southeast later on. Feeling warm and humid, especially in the southeast, with highs around 22 or 23 Celsius. So tonight we'll see an area of showers and thunderstorms pushing northwards out of France in towards the southeast of England to bring the risk of some torrential rain, maybe some hail and some frequent lightning. Amber warnings are in force for Kent and for Sussex, with a lesser yellow warning across the southeast and East Anglia in general. Expect flash flooding in places with these downpours, so it's worth keeping tuned to your local BBC radio for the latest updates. Elsewhere across the UK, it's going to be a mostly dry night with clear spells, but showers will continue to affect western Scotland. A mild night for most, but warm and muggy in the southeast with those thunderstorms. Tomorrow, and heavy showers and thunderstorms will continue across the southeast corner of England during the morning, with a chance of further flooding in places. These storms will clear away, though, through the morning to leave much of the UK fine with some sunshine through the day, although showers will continue to affect western Scotland. It will become warm for many, especially in the southeast, with temperatures reaching 24, maybe 25 Celsius, which could spark off further thunderstorms into the afternoon. So the main message is keep tuned to the weather forecast for these severe storms in the southeast later on.
We will, Stav, thank you. Now let's look ahead to later this afternoon with Ruth Alexander. Keeping tabs on your spending, borrowing your credit card, taking loans out in your name. Financial abuse is the subject of today's Money Box Live. It could be your partner taking control of your money against your will. It could be your son or daughter, your grandchildren, your carer, your neighbour, even a friend. Today we'll be talking about how to spot financial abuse and how to stop it. You can share your experience and ask questions of our experts. The number to call now is 03 700 100 444. Money Box Live is on just after 3. That number again, 03 700 100 444. You can also email moneybox@bbc.co.uk. On FM, on long wave, on digital radio and online. This is BBC Radio 4.
The World at One. This is Martha Carney with 45 minutes of news and comment. With less than 24 hours left, both sides in the EU campaign are travelling up and down the country to make sure every last second counts. And a comment by the Justice Secretary Michael Gove, likening experts to Nazi scientists, has provoked criticism. The former London Mayor Boris Johnson tells me he stands by his fellow Leave campaigner.
Michael Gove has run an absolutely fantastic campaign.
Right,
He's
what a
right in what
cute
he says.
pair.
I think some of these experts, they totally failed to foresee the crash of 2008. They got it 100% wrong.
Last night's BBC Big Debate featured almost 2 hours of claims about the EU, but how much of it was true?
They want to see complete political and fiscal union of all 28 EU member states.
A fantastic market on which 3 million jobs depend.
BBC's reality check team give its verdict. And, if we can't trust the polls, who should we turn to for a prediction of tomorrow's outcome?
The pigs know it's going to be a remain, and I'll put my money on it.
But are the racing pigs telling porkies? The BBC News is read by Chris Aldridge.
The EU referendum campaign is entering its final hours with politicians on...